Roy's comments pre-match were interesting last night, Simon, Roy Hodgson, talking about what would it take for Palace to be a club in the top half of the Premier League table. And he says if people want more than that, then it's going to take an enormous amount of investment, because these days to get yourself into that top half of the Premier League, we can see what these clubs are spending. It's going to involve a massive expenditure. Is it all down to that?
Ask David Moyes.
Yeah, good point.
Yes,
point.
yes and no. I mean, the notion that every space you go up the league is worth £2.5 million in merit payments, because that's what you get. Every club gets a couple of £1 million for every place. Finish bottom of the league, you get £2 million extra revenue at the end of the season. Finish top of the league, you get 40-50 million quid extra as a result of your ladder payments. So if you go up 4 or 5 places and you get the halcyon heights of being inside the top 10, Palace will get another 12 million quid. To do that, they're probably going to have to go and spend 30, 40, 50 million quid. So it depends where you're positioning your football club. Are you positioning it to say that it's amongst the elite in the division? Or are you participating it to say, are you patronising it to say it's in the division? Roy has a point, but also don't ignore the fact that irrespective of big transfer fees this summer, which, by the way, most people did not spend, besides Chelsea, Palace have a squad of players that should be operating at a level that is away from relegation.
You think?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that Benteke sometimes couldn't hit a cow's backside with a banjo, but they paid 35 million quid for him. You know, they've got Andros Townsend, they've got Jordan Ayew, they've got Wilfried Zaha, they've bought the boy Eze from QPR for 20 million quid. They've got a centre-half in Mamadou Sakho they paid 26 million quid for. They've got wing-backs in Jeffrey Schlopp they paid 17 million quid for. Patrick Van Aanholt, 15 million quid. They've got a very decent goalkeeping roster. So why would Palace think that occupying the spaces around the bottom 6 of the division is something that they should be happy with? I don't want to rail in on Palace because it's my old club and it's an easy target for people to lift headlines from and say I'm criticising the current owners. I'm not doing that at all. It's a really difficult balance to strike, because they tried to have a go a few years ago and got into the top 10, I think, or close to it. And the American owners are the ones that are funding this. And they've been involved in, at parts of the season, relegation challenges during every season since then. At the end of each season, they've pulled away because they've had really good guys in there like Allardyce and Pulis originally, and Pardew at one point, and obviously Roy. But none of those appointments, with all due respect to them, are upward-looking appointments. They're stability-based, stay in the division, whatever it takes. And you have to be careful what you wish for, because if you go for it, of course you can get it right. Villa spent 100 million quid last year and nearly got it wrong.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's a great point.
And this season they look good.
So that really is a dilemma for Palace, isn't it? Are you going to go that bit more gung ho? I mean, look at it last night. Even though 3 shots on target, 3 shots compared to 25 from Brighton, and Palace win the game. I don't think there's a Palace fan out there this morning who's complaining about that.
And they'll
because
say,
they get the 3 points.
And they'll say, most importantly, they did it without Wilfried Zaha.
Yes.
Because that's the allegation that is constantly put to Palace. You're a one-trick pony. The only way you get results is when you've got your star man. With due respect, we keep on listening to how Liverpool have capitulated without Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
So you do have to accept that certain players are cornerstones of sides. But Palace, looking at that game from the point of view of the setup, if you've got 2 teams that are playing in front of a full house of fans, I don't think you'd have the same setup that Palace had. But the ends justified the means.
Yeah, of course.
They beat Brighton 2-1, and that's the job done. Packed up the bags, back down the M23, 3 points. See you, Brighton, you've got a relegation battle on your hands.
End of. There's not much to complain about.
Job done.